Hey everyone, welcome to a special bonus episode of Locked On Lakers. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky. The Lakers are 3-0, led to victory by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Ooh, things are looking good. Next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks to everybody for making Locked On Lakers first listen of every day, Monday through Friday. And as you've seen this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, always free, never behind a paywall, Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where go hang out. Yeah, it's Friday, Saturday, back-to-backs, you know. They call for a working weekend. Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you can go hang out with over 25,000 excited subscribers to the channel, all of whom, Andy, are celebrating a 3-0 start, the first since 2011, I believe it is.
2010. The
2010-2011 season. Yeah.
Yep. That season they opened probably like 8 or 9-0. So for however long the Lakers maintain this streak, unless they get to like 10-0, 11-0, this will be the first time this sort of opening has happened in 14 years.
That team, though, was coming off a title. This team was bounced in the first.
That team was coming off back-to-back titles.
Yeah,
they were coming off consecutive titles.
This team got bounced in the first round. So different group, to say the least. This group, Andy, is not necessarily expected to get off to the start that it has. 3 games, all at home, granted, but all against playoff contenders, 131-127. Saturday over the Sacramento Kings. That, of course, is on the heels of a win on Friday against Phoenix Suns and the opener against the Minnesota Timberwolves. These are all 3 playoff teams in the Western Conference. And so the Lakers are doing great work taking care of business to start this season 3-0. This was a game that, they were ahead early and then had to come back late, and they did it behind Anthony Davis and LeBron James. 31 points for AD, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 10 of 15 from the floor. Continues to get to the line with regularity, 10 of 13 there. LeBron with a triple-double, 32 points, 14 rebounds, 10 assists. Responding, I would say, Andy, to, I don't know if criticism is the right word, but people noticing that the first couple games, at least, have not necessarily been up to LeBron James standards. Certainly Saturday's win was, but they really leaned into their stars to bring this game home, pressing an advantage that we talked about going into the season. They have 2 of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah, LeBron earned his post-game jello and hard candies after this one. The fourth quarter, where the Lakers scored 44 points, LeBron scored or assisted on 29 of them. The Lakers opened the quarter on a 21-0 run for the first 4 minutes and 17 seconds. LeBron scored or assisted on 18 of the 21. The only one he didn't was they opened the quarter with a Dalton Knecht 3 that was set up by a really good dribble handoff from Jackson Hayes. Otherwise, LeBron had his fingerprints over the entire run that started to break the game open for the Lakers and the entire fourth quarter that cemented the win for the Lakers. It was truly vintage stuff from LeBron. He was incredible.
Yeah, and you look around, this is one of these deals where, in theory, the Lakers are hopefully going to, over the course of the season, take advantage of improvements from Rui Hachimura and continued ascendance of Austin Reaves, who's done very well in the first 3 games under JJ Redick. And you still have D'Lo, and you're hoping Dalton Knecht develops and all
good
that.
Good bounce back game from D'Angelo Russell tonight.
Yeah, he did. I mean, a couple. Maybe we'll get more into D'Lo for Monday's show. He's in a really interesting spot, and I think he's responding reasonably well to it. But overall, I agree with you. 16 points for D'Lo, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 6 of 11 from the floor. Finally made some threes. 3 of 6.
He's clearly trying to feel out what his role is,
exactly,
without I think, trying to cause any waves whatsoever.
That's exactly what I think he's trying to do. And I thought his, it messes a little bit with his shot selection in terms of when do I shoot, when do I be aggressive, when don't I? And, he had a couple lesser moments defensively on Saturday. But, to be perfectly honest, in any game where Russell plays 32 minutes, you're always going to find a couple spots on the tape where the defense wasn't great. But overall, I thought he was a strong contributor. You have Austin Reaves with 16 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, continuing to fill up a box score. But this is, and over the course of a season, you're hoping that those things are going to be part of, like it was on Friday with just a massive game from Reaves. But sometimes, it's okay to be brought home by tremendous performances from your stars and, have that reminder that, okay, the supporting cast is a question and it's important, but there is this other thing that if they can continue to play really well, and Redick, I think, is changing the way that Anthony Davis gets the ball and how often and all these other things, that advantage is significant. And they've struggled with the Kings, man, and game 3 of the season.
For all of the focus on the Lakers and Denver, because that's a team that's beaten them 2 consecutive seasons in the playoffs, they've had far less success of late against the Kings. This is Anthony Davis's, I believe, his first win against Domantas Sabonis, certainly his first win as a Laker. I am positive about that. I don't know about for his entire career.
Right.
But
they've been 10 straight, I think.
Yeah. This is his first win. The last time the Lakers had beaten the Kings, I'm not joking. It's, it's like the outcome where the joke writes itself. AD didn't play in that game. It was like Thomas Bryant starting.
Right.
But AD
and it's not like, he didn't just shut down Sabonis. Sabonis had a great game, as did AD, but they won the game. And that's really what's significant.
Right. And this is AD 3 out of 3 games to open the season. He's had 30 plus. Saw a tweet from Esfandiar Barhini, who covers the NBA for The Athletic. Lakers coaching staff has unlocked Anthony Davis. First 3 games, 31 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks, 34% usage. Second game, 35 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 31% usage. 36 points, 16 rebounds, 3 blocks. Game 3, 30% usage. AD had a usage of 30 plus only 19 times last season. So it really reflects how JJ Redick and also everybody top to bottom on this team, including very often LeBron, has been emphasizing the idea of Anthony Davis is the focal point of this team on both sides of the ball, and we are giving that dude the ball on basically every single possession, or we're doing it wrong.
I think one of the things that was supposed to differentiate this team from last year, because really the only thing that was available to differentiate this team from last year is coaching and
Dalton Knecht.
Dalton Knecht. Something we can get into for Monday's show is the impact that Knecht has had relative to somebody like Taurean Prince, whose spot sort of ostensibly he's filling, but he does it in a very different way. But it's not that it's necessarily radically different in every way, shape, or form. I think what the Lakers are doing, but I saw somebody, I forget who it was on Twitter, kind of refer to the dials that he's turning. It might have been Alex Regula in a tweet he was putting out in terms of just tweaking who's on the floor with who and when and which kinds of it. He's turning dials in different ways than were turned last year, and the results thus far have been good. This was a game, Andy, again, 131 to 127 against a very talented offensive team. The Lakers had to outscore their opponent down the stretch. And, it wasn't a defensive masterpiece. They had one quarter where they held Sacramento to under 30 points. But they got buckets. There were times last year when they struggled in games like this to get the requisite amount of buckets that they needed to to bring something home. And this is the type of thing I think, hopefully, this start, which has a lot of practical impact, I think psychologically too, can be something that feeds on itself. The success can bring more success. It is freeing. It is confidence building. There's nothing to dislike about where they are right now.
Well, it's also too, I think it's really important that this is the second game in a row where they've won having to overcome a fair amount of adversity. Against Phoenix, they came back from down 22 in the first half. In this game, the leads went more back and forth, but the Lakers had to overcome, frankly, a lot of their own mistakes. They turned the ball over 19 times, which Sacramento turned into 20.
Third quarter in particular was just terrible.
Yeah, they turned the ball over 19 times, like I said, gave up 25 points in the process. It played a role in Sacto getting 31 fast break points, 58 points in the paint. Like that, there was a lot that the Lakers had to check themselves and start doing better on. And there is value in that as well. Like Austin Reaves, for example, on balance had a good game, but there were you mentioned that third quarter, there was a period where he was frankly miserable with just turning the ball over and struggling to get past defenders or whatever. And he eventually regrouped. And that's just kind of a microcosm of one guy representing the whole team having to just take a beat, reset, and start outplaying their opponent. It also, though, helps when you have one of the best guys ever at controlling a game, helping everyone settle down.
Yeah, it's there's a little something going on for the Lakers. They have Sunday. I mean, so it was worth noting too. They did this on the second night of a back-to-back. And
Sacramento was very clearly looking to run them.
Yes,
and trying to use fatigue against them.
And so, obviously, the second game of a back-to-back in the third game of the season, it hits a little differently than it might later in the year, but it is still the second night of a back-to-back after they had to, like you say, push late to beat Phoenix on Friday night. They play the Suns again on Monday, starting a 5-game road trip. The first time the Lakers will be on the road, but it's good that they banked these home wins. And of course, so they'll practice on Sunday and then head out to Phoenix afterwards. Get ready for that game. We'll obviously get you ready for the game and bring you everything that comes after it. We of course will get you ready for that and for the entire week and the entire road trip, Andy. But first, this.
Well, the Locked On Lakers is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL fans can enjoy the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Let's just say you are feeling a hunch in the middle of the game because it's just felt like I am anticipating everything that's taken place, whether you're talking about a big touchdown pass, big turnover, timely sack, busted run, whatever. You can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. So basically you have all that info to streamline and confirm what you are feeling. Plus, you get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. And NBA season, it is underway, kids, and our friends at FanDuel have options for you as of this recording. Double check always. But the Thunder, 3-1 favorites to win the Western Conference. The Wolves, Mavs, and Nuggets all tied at 5-1. The Lakers at 19-1 last I checked. You might want to try to get in on that now because I can tell you that number's only going to start getting smaller if this keeps up, which means your payout will be lower. So check it out, see what's there, FanDuel.com. And Locked On Lakers is also brought to you by Game Time. My daughter and I, we've bonded a lot over music throughout the years. She is really, really obsessed with different artists. Frank Ocean right now is one that she's really into, and he hasn't put out an album in about 8 years, but she's heard rumors that he could be back in the studio, which would mean a tour. And I've promised her that if he does tour, I will get us tickets, even though they're not going to be easy to get, except for someone like me using Game Time, because they make the process easier with new features like Game Time Picks, which filters out confusing wording and just shows you incredible deals on great seats, saves you time. And they offer panoramic seat views before you buy, so you know exactly what the view to the stage and all your surroundings are going to be like. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off.
All right. We will see everyone on Monday.